Oh, can I go? Oh, takes the queen, takes. Oh, oh, stop. What if they go rook takes e4 though? Okay, I'll figure that out. Take the queen, take the pawn, king over mate. Rook e4. Stop. Stop it. No. No, that's too good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was nice. That was nice. We just left everything hanging. We just left everything hanging. Like they didn't want to take us back after we took here, right? So they just like kind of playing defensive and everything. They go knight takes. It's their first ambitious idea, right? So like, okay, they're gonna leave f2 to undefended for 1 second while they attack our queen. We don't even defend our queen. Take the pawn. Take the queen. Check. And then knight g3 is checkmate. What? No matter where you go. I'm not sure it was actually working though. Oh, it was actually working. Oh, -3. You guys can see that eval bar, right? And then it goes even higher after knight takes because of rook takes f2. Takes led to mate into. Okay, they had rook takes e4, but I guess I was gonna go check here, and then like queen. Yeah, queen, and then just get him. Just like get him. Rook e3 is saying like g4 to go g3, rook h2, and queen f2 or something like that. Yeah, I don't think it's a good situation for white. They didn't have much development here. Wow. First silly William Gambit leads to awesome queen sacrifice checkmate. Rook takes f2. Best move on the board. -5. Sack the queen checkmate. GG. Thank you guys. Okay. Awesome. Do you guys have like the supers and the custom emotes, like kind of the same thing that you'd get from being a subscriber on Twitch? Do I have that here on YouTube? The board isn't cropped well. Okay. D4. Goring Gambit. Instead of recapturing the pawn with the bishop, I can actually play my darks for bishop to h6. Wasn't there pawn on d3 at the time? I think that was. I'm not remembering the exact position. So we get a Goring on the bishop. Bishop 8. But that is a fun little pattern to know. Alright, takes. We got a Goring here. D5 is what people play to decline the Goring, you know, if they're as the kind of the automatic way to decline the Danish. That actually works. Here, it is not so simple. It is not so simple. For example, if you just kind of want to proceed with bishop e7, I will play. I was going to say knight takes d4, attacking this, which is a whole mess of issues for black. Bishop g4, I'm not exactly sure what to do. Let me think about this. My instinct is to go queen e1 check, and then move the knight, like knight takes d4. Seems a little lame. Queen a4, I can't, because bishop takes f3 will defend that for a moment, and I don't want that to happen. Queen takes d4 is also an option. Rook e1, bishop e7, can I hit it? Let's go queen e1. Queen e1, I think, is the move here. I'm not totally sure. But okay, bishop e7, I'll go knight takes d4. And that's actually a really tricky situation for black, because you can't castle in that position. I'll play knight takes c6 with a fork. Hi, William. I'm so glad I finally caught your stream. Thank you. I'm glad you did too. Welcome. You go bishop g4 with tempo and then castle long. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, so the bishop comes straight to g4 instead of f5. You really got all the pieces firing in those lines. I like it. Goring is better than the Scotch Gambit? Yes. I mean, I don't know. Who am I to say? But yes. Your one, that's definitely true, is your opponent doesn't know it. All e5 players will know the Scotch Gambit. Almost none of them will know the Goring Gambit, which is huge because you're not playing against Stockfish. You're playing against a human in a situation where they're going to make mistakes with their king in the middle. And a lot of people confuse it for the Danish, but with the inclusion of knight f3 and ac6, it makes a lot of differences, and it's just... I don't think there's anything that the Danish has that the Goring doesn't, because that like it's just the best possible transposition. Alright, I want to play a move here again such that there's no castling. But that seems like there's no such move. I want to play here in one turn, but I can't. So... I probably should just develop. Let's go... Where's a good spot? Okay, bishop g5. Yeah, I mean, I think with the Scotch Gambit, like... It's totally fine, but I think... it's not hard at all for black to equalize, right? They play that main line with like knight f6, d5, and knight e4, bishop d7, all that stuff. Like, you're not getting some fun gambit-y position most of the time, right? You're just getting some theoretically equal line. Where's the fun in that? I have a weird move here. I gotta move my queen anyway. I'm gonna play a weird move. I'm gonna play queen b1. Because c5 is coming. Oh, this was actually stupid. I was gonna go knight f5. But, yeah, this was stupid. Because my knight hangs here. Oh, and doesn't hang. Shout out to that bishop. Oh. So c5 knight f5 is good. Okay, let's put you here or here. Here. Now c5 is even harder. I will go take and take the pawn, distracting this bishop. And I can still play knight f5 for fun. Another move I can do for fun was knight a5. Yeah, that was actually going to be really annoying. Threatening this fork and not easily defended. Here, I'm taking this, though, right? Okay. I mean, I had knight f5 there, but this seemed even better. Takes, bishop takes, and I'm up a pawn. Bishop takes, knight takes, and I'm also up a pawn. You can take me here, but again, it seems like a pawn. Unless you want to go pawn takes, which I want you to do. Do it. I'm seeing a message. Danish has the d5 forced line where white gets nothing. That's true. That's true. And that's even after if they decide to go takes and takes, right? Or they can also just kind of, after c3, play d5 on move 3, and I know this has been discussed, but I've never actually seen anything convincing for white at all that would convince me to want to play that. You know, instead of even taking on c3. Let's go to f5 now. This seems good stuff. Look, there's a lot of very good openings other than the ones I recommend. Totally. I don't mean to say anything to the contrary of that. I just don't think the Danish or the Scotch Gambit are particularly inspired choices, if I had to say. This is a good move. I'm trying to come across, but it's not easy. Let's go to e3. Seems like a good spot. g3 is also a good spot. e3 is a good spot. Need to stop taking so long. I also don't like this. I need to use all my pieces here. This is the next logical point to attack, right? Like, for example, knight d5, this bishop is, well, guarding this. Could play c4, could play queen out. Alright, let's just play queen c2. Let's just play queen c2 while I'm thinking about big plans. Don't want my whole time clock to run. This is just a practical move. It makes sense to free this. What is my next plan? Could be knight d5. It could just be like rook d2, rook d1. Is there any rush I have in this position? It's not like... Oh, I don't think that was a good choice. Now... Oh, yeah, now we've got free reign. Also, why don't I just take this? Let's go c4, actually, to guard this real quick. Yeah, this bishop's not looking so hot. It's not looking so hot. With some big clunkers stuck on its color. Knight might sit well here, although you can take that away. But we've got some nice spots for Mr. Knight. Is knight h6 any good? It would have been. I think the bishop was here. I don't think I had an opportunity to do it before the bishop was there. Did I? I don't think so. Can I get my rook to h5? Maybe? h6? Okay, you're going there. Just give me this, yeah? Why not? Why not? I mean, I don't imagine this happening. That's a good choice. That's a good choice. It was going to connect to me. If not, let's guard it. Queen b6 was a good move. Because if like c6, then I was going to come down with the rook. Okay, let's just play h3 while I think about what to do. Knight f5 and something on this file seems like the move. Like, let's say trade and queen in. Here and here seem like my next couple moves. And I feel like not a lot that black can really do to me. Let's go here. Check here. Queen d8. Oh, not a lot of time. Rook a8. Nice move. Distraction. Everything's coming together there at the end. G3, or F4 rather. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. Yeah. So I think my position was just better. My position was just better, and it was better out of the opening. My opponent was confused by the Goring Gambit. Play e4, e5, knight f3, and so this is the Goring. Like this, right? Where we've included knight f3, knight c6. You know, you heard me reference a couple times, unlike the Danish, where you'd have like this position, for example, without this. And there's a couple reasons why it's much better. For example, like if black plays knight c6 here, knight f3 is your best move anyway. But it takes away ideas of d5, because takes would have a direct tempo on the knight. So, you know, black never really has that resource, for starters. And white's much closer to castling, and knight c6 is not helping black castle the fastest way. So, you know, there's like a couple fundamental reasons, and there's concrete reasons as well, why it's better this way, in my view. We had d5 here, and we have this option for bishop d3, because in this position, right, if you had played a Danish and had this position with the knights here, you would have nothing to do with this bishop, and you'd just be a pawn down for nothing. But here we have this bishop takes c6 line, takes castles, which is a great way to play against this. Because, like I said, this is a really tricky position. If they take your pawn, we have like ideas with like queen e2 check, and they take c3 and bring our rooks to the middle, which is really, really nice. And just lots of issues down this file in general. For example, like takes. Here, knight takes c6 is a nasty fork. If they take your queen, you can win a piece here with that intermezzo check. And bishop d7, they could play here. You have queen f3, still attacking this. Knight c6, it's still annoying. You still can't castle. Takes, queen takes. You're going to lose your rook if you move your queen, so you got to go here. Still can't castle in a lot of these lines. So it gets really frustrating for black in a lot of cases. My opponent played bishop g4, which is actually the top engine move, and somehow I didn't know it. Actually, I faced this once. I see here. I played h3 and 1. In this position, in this time around, I played queen e1 check, getting out of the way of this pin, and knight takes d4. So again, it's -0.2. I guess, well, they do have a bishop pair, and my queenside development's not great, or even existent. But with knight takes d4 here, we're attacking c6, which is more than just a pawn, because you can't just castle and allow that fork. You would lose something. So my opponent comes back bishop d7. And I think at this point, I guess I have nothing. What was the best choice here? It was h3. So the engine's giving takes. What's the difference? Oh, g4. Wow, aggressive. Bishop e7. Just get rid of that pin and then come after the c6 pawn. Lots of different ways. And that's hard to defend. Yeah, like I keep saying, the knight on c6 is going to deliver a nasty fork right there. Interesting stuff. It's saying like queen d6, then we'll bring them all out. Knight will come to c4 in a couple moves. Queen's coming here. Good stuff there. In the game, I just played queen e1, check, takes, bishop d7, and we just developed kind of like normal. I had this weird idea with queen b1, which is totally fine, as you see. I had to move the queen anyway, kind of, and well, b1 is an interesting spot because I sensed c5 coming, and I wanted to put my knight right there if I could get away with that, which I can. It was just like a forward move that gets rid of their bishop pair. Queen takes f5. This bishop will defend that knight, and hopefully my rooks can come into the middle, and we can play some nice chess there. So knight f5 was a spot I was eyeing. Rook b8 makes a lot of sense. My opponent continues to get things into the game. That's not the best because of, I guess, just this. It's a good spot for the bishop, and I no longer have this resource. I mean, it doesn't seem like the end of the world, but it is a good bishop pair, I think. Black has played extremely well to this point. They're threatening take and check, actually, to win that bishop, so it's something you gotta watch out for. So I think just a good bishop pair for black here in an open position that they were able to achieve. But they played c5, allowed this, and g takes was probably a mistake. Probably better to give this pawn. What can they do here? And yeah, I don't know, just use their files, use their lines. Everything's open here, and not great stuff from my heavy pieces, I guess. So c5 takes, pawn takes was a serious concession, and was probably not worth the cost of this pawn, because now like I'm jumping knight in. They have the bishop pair, yes, but and maybe some some nice pieces. Rooks are better than mine. I just don't think it's worth what happened to their king. And I think it becomes pretty hard for them to play really quickly. That was a big mistake, and I noted that at the time. Yeah, I mean, what they had going for them was the bishop pair, and this is the best piece on the board. Probably better here to play like f5, play c4, and I think you can kind of straighten this out a little bit if you're black, because it's not really clear I'm just going to checkmate my opponent or anything like that. But they played takes b3, which gives me access to a number of squares, right? So like, you know, you got lots of dark square pawns, and you trade off your light square bishop. The light squares are now ready for the feasting for this knight. Like you can jump here, here, I have c4, I have rook d5 here. Like all my threats are going to be along light squares. So yeah, also that pawn on a7 was hanging here, and I grabbed it. Wasn't even the best move because queen b6 was actually a nice resource. g3 wanted. I mean, if your position's so good you could play g3 and be that much better, then I think that kind of underscores the point. But yeah, I think this is just really, really pleasant for white here, not only with the extra pawn, but just because this is their only piece. It's just a big pawn that I was able to attack anyway here with queen g4 and rook there. I guess they had check and bishop f8 to hang on. But even then, I was thinking something like b4 and just coming across could be good, and delivering a couple mate threats there. So yeah, just good stuff here. And rook a8 was the nice little finishing touch here, distracting the rook. If bishop f8, I would take it anyway with the pin and queen g7 next turn. So yeah, cute little move there, rook a8, nice tactic, all the pieces coming together. And that was an important inclusion. I guess they would have had a rook and piece for the queen, playing takes g8. But otherwise, I mean, we didn't have much time here at all. Okay, GG. Let's get back to it.
William Grave, the Gambit man, takes his seat at the board. e4, e5, knight f3, bishop c5. The Bushcast Gambit on the board. On with the Gambit classes. Hero pawn unlocked.